So now what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys what comes in this little pack. So this bezel set that we have here comes exclusively in the UV resin starter kit. It's going to have 3 pieces of jewelry in each bag. They're going to be basically the same, so you can have a set of earrings and a necklace. So if you don't want to do that, if you want them to be all necklaces, you just need to get more necklace pieces, because that's just kind of how they are designed at the moment. But it's 3 jewelry pieces that you can make technically. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my hardware to the side. So I have one necklace here with a little pinch bail, that way we can attach it right to that bezel. And then I also have these 2 little earring hooks that are pinch bails as well. So they'll just pinch right on. You don't need any hooks or anything like that. No pliers, nothing like that. It's super easy. So we'll leave those to the side. Now with these 3 pieces here, you're probably looking at them thinking, the resin will slip right through. How can I do this? So your kit's going to come with tape as well. So we'll actually cut a little piece of this tape off, and we're going to use that as backing. So this is my UV resin tape. So I'm going to go ahead and just peel a little bit off like this to cover all 3 pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off. And then let me know if you guys have questions along the way. And I think Jesse's working on your goals right now.
Yeah.
Yep, I knew it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set that down like this. What's really cool too is, let's say you just recently got this kit and you forgot some of the things we talked about today. We also have these tutorials on our YouTube channel. So you can actually go to YouTube and you can see how to do this right now. And we go through every single item in the kit and how to craft with it.
Okay, so real quick, contest time, and these are the rules here. So if you're on Instagram, we need 45 concurrent viewers. So we're at 36 right now, so we need 45. If you're on TikTok, we need 30K likes. So we can get a winner on each platform, but we gotta hit those goals. And do we want to tell them the gift now, or?
We can,
Yeah?
but I would like to add that if they surpass those goals, maybe I'll surpass the gift and throw something else at them.
Okay, there you go. So, the gift is going to be a UV resin starter kit. So, if you want one, let's get going and let's get 45 concurrent viewers. We're at 32, and if you're on TikTok, we need 30K likes, and you are going to win a UV resin starter kit. So, ahorita las reglas para el concurso, ahorita si estás en Instagram, necesitamos 45 personas que estén viendo el live ahorita para poder tener un ganador en Instagram. Y si estás en TikTok, necesitamos 30,000 likes en TikTok para tener un ganador ahí. Y el ganador se va a ganar un kit de resina. Para el ganador. So, good luck.
All right, so now you guys know what the goals are. Feel free to share this. That way you can get as many people on helping you hit those goals as possible. We definitely want to be able to give away these prizes, so hit those goals. And if you surprise us and surpass them, we might surprise you with a few more things. We'll see. But yeah, so I've got just stuff from the UV resin kit out right now still. What we'll do next is I'm going to actually make a necklace, and then I'll make 2 earrings, okay? So let's do the necklace one first, and let's make this one fun. Let's do something a little complicated, and we're going to do a 2-part pour. So with that, what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and actually set my resin down for a second and get my gloves. We always recommend you use PPE when you're working with UV resin. So you want to make sure you're wearing your gloves. Same thing with epoxy. You can wear a respirator as well if you have any allergies to UV resin or if you're in a small confined area. But we always recommend make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. And like I said, if you need extra protection, use that respirator. I'm just using gloves though, because I'm in a nice big open studio with lots of air flowing around. All right, so I got my gloves on. Next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my resin, and I'm going to pour some resin into this little silicone bowl that again comes with the kit. So I'm going to just pour some right in here. Awesome. I don't need a whole lot because I'm going to do, like I said, one of those 2-part pours. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill it as much as I need to. And then I'm going to go ahead and just set this to the side. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and I'm going to take my glitter and I'm going to pour some into this little bowl here. So that way, when I pour it into here, I can have one side that's glitter, and then I can use the actual UV resin bottle itself to do a clear side as well. That way it's going to be a little half and half piece. Oh, and is that Cruz? Hey, Cruz, good to see you. Make sure you guys are asking questions if you have them. If you just joined, we are working on the UV resin starter kit. So we're doing one of the projects that you can get out of the kit. All right, now, since I'm using one of the chunky glitters that are found in the kit, I'm gonna go ahead and use the spoon side and live a little dangerously and just sprinkle some glitter into my little silicone bowl. Now the rule with UV resin is you don't want to cover it so much to where the light can't penetrate it. So I don't want this to be so full of glitter that it doesn't have any fluidity. I want to make sure that that resin can still move around. So when I mix it with my wand, see how everything still moves pretty well? It's kind of pouring off my wand still. That's what you want. I can't really add much more glitter to this. You could do less if you want, but I couldn't really add more just with how chunky it is already. So I've got my glitter mixture set up. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that as is for a moment. And then I'll get my little bottle of resin. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that half pour that I talked about. So let me move this to the center so you can see it. So guys, we're gonna focus on this one right here, this bezel. And I'm gonna go ahead and pour both at once, but I want them to basically match each other's speed. So I'm gonna go nice and slow and take my time with this. All right. So I see that it started to move from the glitter side. So I want to do the same thing with the resin and then just pull back as you need to, but you want them to meet essentially in the center. And the resin is self-leveling as well. So that's really nice about the resin is you can kind of just let it sit and do what it's going to do for a second to kind of see where it ends up. I think I need a little bit more of this clear resin here. Perfect. Awesome. Once you're content with how that looks, you've got a nice even half and half pour, then you can go ahead and cure it. But I'm gonna let that just sit while I go ahead and work on these other pieces real quick. Now, for the other ones, why don't we use what's left of this glitter so that we don't waste it? And we're just gonna pour them into these other little backgrounds as well. Here we go. So I'm just gonna do a little bit, and I'll do a little bit in this one. And then I'm going to use my bottle of clear resin to dilute it a little bit so that it's not fully saturated. So that way these still match a little bit, but they're different.
And then someone asked, what if you have a ton of UV resin stuff? If we win, can we get 2-part epoxy instead?
So we're not doing epoxy right now. Typically we'll just do what we're crafting on. That way you're inspired to craft with what you just learned. But we can absolutely do an epoxy live soon. I love to give away epoxy prizes. That's a great idea. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind, throw that in the suggestion box for me, and I will try to remember as well. But yeah, let me go ahead and just spread this out. So now I'm using my wand, guys, to just spread out this background here. What I'm doing is I'm making a nice, smooth, even layer so that I can add other things to this when I'm done. All right. Now, that's all spread out pretty good. I think I want to add a little bit more glitter to this one, so I'm just going to add a little bit more of this mixture. That way they're more even. Perfect. Okay. And then just spread that out how you want it. And we'll go ahead and give it a quick cure. Now, what comes in the kit is going to be this guy right here. So this is our flashlight. This is perfect for anything UV resin related as far as the products that we carry. You can go ahead and hold this in place and cure. What's nice about this is it's really directional. So like say you're doing drips, something like that, or small pieces like this is perfect for you. If you're doing anything bigger, anything that's going to take more time and you don't want to just sit here and hold on to your lamp, you do have an alternative. So we actually have this guy here that just got released recently. This is our MakerFlo UV lamp. I want to say this is what, only 20 bucks on the site?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a great deal right here. And what this nice about this is it's charged, so it's actually portable. So I can just click the button and it's going to do the thing for me. What's also cool about it is I can go ahead and just include my little tools here. So like my little bowl, my little wand, and I can just put that under the lamp and those are going to cure as well. The reason why we include the silicone tools in the kit is because they're all reusable. So it's super easy to clean, really awesome. Do we have any questions going on? Make sure you guys are asking. If you have them, we are here to help.
There's just a lot of people tagging their friends to try to get the numbers up.
Yes, awesome.
Talia said hi a bit ago, and let's see, what was this?
Hi, Talia. How's baby boo doing? Let us know. Always curious for those updates.
And she's trying to get everybody to share the live as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to win some prizes, let's go ahead and share. If this is something you already have too, you could always give it to a friend. You know, I want to say there's some holidays coming up all the time, birthdays, things like that. You could always just have like a little crafting session with your friends. So why not, right?
And
Okay.
Kenna said the lamp was a game changer for me.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the lamp too. I'm glad you like it, Kenna.
Yeah, they love that it's portable, and Bruce telling everybody to share as well.
Perfect. Yep. Now let's go ahead and see how we did, guys. Hear that? Everything feels nice and cured. Now this one here, I do want to cure the back side of it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just cut it off of the tape real quick. That way I can keep working on my other friends. And I'm going to go ahead and flip this one completely upside down like that. And I'm just going to place it under my lamp that I have on the side here. So this lamp is going to keep curing while we're working. So I'll just leave that on the side, let that do its thing. Okay, cool. All right, well that is curing. Let's go ahead and do some more with these little guys. So remember, this is going to be our pair of earrings. What I'd like to do next is let's put some flowers on it. Why not, right? So I'm going to use my UV resin as glue because it is super versatile. And I'm just going to put a little glob in the middle there. Now, next thing I want to do is I'm going to decide what to use. I like to make my life harder, and I'm going to actually go ahead and split one of these flowers in half. So I'm going to go ahead, I think the best way to do this is to grab your tweezers to get the flower, like that. And you're going to want to hold it in a way to where you can cut it. So right there I think is pretty decent. And I'm going to go take my scissors and just cut it in half. Perfect. Okay. Now that I have that cut in half, we're going to go ahead and take our little wand. I like to use one side to go ahead and just get some of that resin, and then you can pick up your flower like a little tool.
And Karen, thanks for the heart.
Thank you, Karen. And I'm going to go ahead and just push the edges of the flower to the side, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other half. Okay. Now, if your flower breaks apart, don't worry. You have UV resin here, so we're going to just go ahead and glue it back together, just like resin likes to do. So I went and flipped that the correct way. I'm going to go ahead and put that together like it never happened. Perfect. And then you can always, if you have any like little loose petals, you can always just grab them and place them back in your scene. Let's go ahead and just leave that into the thing. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So now you have that arranged the way you like. The next thing you want to do is you'll cure it. I do actually want to add a little bit of a petal right here as well. So let me do that real quick. Perfect. Yeah, I think that looks pretty symmetrical. Awesome. Now we'll go ahead and we'll take our little flashlight. This one isn't going to need a lot of attention at all, so we can go ahead and just cure it for a quick 30 seconds. All you're trying to do here is make sure that that flower sticks in place. That way when you lay the resin over it, it won't rise and it'll be nice and smooth on the top and the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and just hold this for about 30 seconds, and then we'll go ahead and add some more resin. But yeah, let me know how we're doing so far, guys. If you have any questions, make sure you ask. Again, we're working from the UV Resin Starter Kit, just doing some fun little projects that you can get done in the kit. There's so many things in it that it's perfect to craft with friends. You could even pull out the little ones with this, maybe not super small, but I've worked with kids probably as young as like 6, 8 when we've done these crafts on the road. So with supervision and gloves, you can get a lot of fun done with these. That should be about 30 seconds. Let's see. Yep, that flower looks like it's pretty stuck in place now. Nothing's really moving. So we'll go ahead and get our little resin, and we're gonna just finish them to the top. So now I just wanna make sure I don't over pour the jewelry. And I'm gonna go from edge to edge and let that resin just self-level and sit. Now let's say something flies in like this little piece just did right now. So I'm gonna go and take my tweezers and I'm gonna pull that right back out. Here we go. Like it never happened. Yes, Jesse.
So Karen's Sinful Creation asks, this is in a kit or individual pack?
Absolutely. So this is actually all in a kit. Everything that I've used so far, except for the lamp, is in the kit. And what you get instead of the lamp is this flashlight. So this is a fully comprehensive kit. It comes with everything you need to get started, including a couple of gloves. So really awesome kit. UV Resin Starter Kit. I don't know if we can link it somewhere, maybe.
Yeah,
Jesse's gonna look into it. But great question, Karen. All right, this is looking pretty good.
Look at the fun kit. My daughter loves making their necklace.
Awesome. See, this is looking really good so far. Now, one thing that I always recommend when you're using flowers is when you're doing that final coat over the top of the flower, give it some time to sit. The reason for that is the flowers were real at some point and they were alive, so they might still have a little bit of moisture in them. So if that's the case, you want it to fully saturate in the resin so that if there are any bubbles, anything like that, they can rise and pop before you start to seal them in with that UV light. So let's go ahead and let those sit just for a second. And while that's happening, I'm gonna go ahead and take off my gloves because I'm done handling resin at the moment. And I'm gonna see how my little piece did under the lamp. So let's go ahead and pull this one out. All right, so this is the piece we put in earlier with that little half and half pour. And yeah, peels right off the tape, nice and clean. And then with this, I'll just leave it on my hand so you can kind of see it. See how that's a perfect half and half clear versus glitter? Awesome. You can do that with any color. You can even kind of swirl in the color. Once you know how to do this, the patterns you can make are up to you. You can make something really unique, really creative, super easily. But yeah, that was just glitter and a little bit of clear resin. So what do we think, guys? Pretty cool? All right. I'm going to leave this to the side and I'll just keep working. So we gave these some time to dry and some time to self-level. So now let's go ahead and we'll just cure them. So again, I'm going to make sure all of my little tools are under the lamp as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and set this to cure for 60 seconds. Perfect. Okay. All right. What do we think so far, guys? How are we doing on the goals, by the way?
We're hovering around like 35 on Instagram.
Thank you to all 35 of you.
TikTok, they're struggling. They're at 5,000.
Okay. Maybe TikTok's sad because they didn't win last time. I don't know if you guys remember what happened in the last live. Well, we were real surprised. Instagram knocked it out of the park. And we actually did something unprecedented. Unprecedented? I don't know. Okay, we did something we haven't done before on the live. And we just gave away a gift card. We wanted you to kind of go ham, pick what you want, and just grab something fun. So, I mean, the more feedback we get on these, the more chit-chat and kind of fun we can see you having, the more inclined we are to see what we can do about prizes. So, just saying, that's all. Go ahead, Jesse.
So someone asked, is there any way to make your camera a little clearer? That is actually TikTok. If you go to Instagram, it's much clearer.
Gotcha.
I don't know why they're messing with the quality for whatever reason.
TikTok is figuring itself out at the moment. It's going through some growing pains. But for now, Instagram is also going strong. And yeah, so the image might be a little clearer there. If you're having trouble on TikTok, very sorry about that. But we'll see what we can do. I don't know if there's much. Maybe we can talk to the people we work with. Okay, Jesse says yes, he'll do that. So we'll see what we can do. But for now, Instagram. Okay, so let's see how these did, guys. So
if 60 hop to Instagram, we can do a giveaway.
It's true. It's true.
We have 42 people. Come on.
Guys, these already feel perfect on the outside. I do want to make sure we got the back as well, though. So I'm going to go ahead and just cure these for about 30 seconds, just through the back, just to make sure that when we peel, none of that resin is stuck to the tape. Has anyone used the UV resin tape before? Let me know what you guys think. I'm a big fan of the UV resin tape. As long as you're not over curing it or leaving it under the light for too long, you don't have any issues. The few times I've seen tape sticking to the resin products just means you gave a little bit too much time under the light or maybe too close under the light. So that can be fixed with just a little bit of finessing. Also, to get that tape off, just rub it off with your hand. It'll come right off. But yeah. All right, so this should be nice and cured. So let's go ahead and peel these off and see how we did. Yep, no tape left behind. Perfect. I'm gonna check on this one too. Yeah, these came out great, guys. So let me go ahead and just show you on this really quick so you can kind of really see them. Give me one sec. Okay. All right, Jesse, tell me the best angle that is this?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good angle. It's lower the light a little.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, so these came out really cool. I really like the little half and half flowers. Really, nothing says a set like half and half pieces. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah. Oh yeah, you can see them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
That glare is just it's unstoppable because of this glossy shine on the UV
Clear
resin.
the resin.
So, but yeah, what do we think, guys? Pretty cool so far. I'm pretty pleased with how they've come out. I'll just leave these on this little white backing here so you can kind of see them. And now the next thing someone asked for was the coaster. So let's go ahead and work on that one next. So I'm going to go ahead and set some of my tools to the side. I'm gonna
43.
pull out this coaster here.
43.
43, guys. We're getting there. Now, first thing I'm going to do with this coaster is I'm going to go ahead and just wipe off any sawdust that might be on it. This is all natural wood, so it's real. So it means it might have some sawdust.
It hit 44.
44. You guys are getting close.
Back down to 40.
So I went ahead and I just wiped off the sawdust that was kind of hanging out on the outside of this. What I'm going to do next is, with wood, it is pretty porous. So you're going to have to do a few layers whenever you're working on pieces like this. So what we'll do first is I want to actually mix some resin with some glitter to get a nice background. For this one, I'll go ahead and use our Crystal Galaxy, which is one of the original glitters we put in this kit. It has changed a little bit since then, but this was the OG glitter right here. So we'll use some of this with some of our resin, and we're going to mix it up together. Jesse's very disappointed that we were at 44, and then
they
it dropped
got it.
back down.
They
got
got
it?
Yeah, they got it.
So did we get to give them a
48.
prize, Jesse?
48 if you get to 55, sure.
I thought it was 45.
Oh, I thought you said another prize.
50.
I thought you
Oh,
said
yeah,
extra
yeah.
prize.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
they hit it. They hit
Okay.
it. Yeah, they hit it.
All right, you guys got the first prize. If it surprises Jesse with how far up you guys get after this, there might be more. But for sure, someone's getting a UV resin kit on our Instagram. So thank you guys for that. And I promise you I'll throw in something fun, maybe a few things fun, if we get to some higher numbers. So yeah. All right, so we're working on this. I have my little bowl here to mix up with some glitter. I'm going to go ahead and just leave that to the side for now while I grab some gloves before I handle my resin. So let me get my gloves. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. I've made some pretty interesting pieces on this wood bark. Sometimes you're even really lucky and you get a very interesting shape. Like I've seen some of the wood bark slices that look like little owl faces. Those are really cool. You can do neat stuff with that. So just know every slice is unique and it could be anything you want it to be. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and mix up that resin with the glitter now. There we go. Now I am nearing the end of my bottle, so don't mind me if it pours a little bit slowly. Make sure I'm on camera. Here we go. Okay. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and pour a good amount of the resin onto here. Basically, I want it to cover the whole bark slice. And I know that this resin is going to get a little bit chunky when I pour the glitter into it. So it needs a good amount of resin. So I filled it about halfway. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of glitter in here. Again, I'm using the spoon side because I'm using my chunky glitter. And I just want a little bit. I don't want a whole lot. So I'm just going to mix a little bit in here. Like that, I think is good. Just a nice little small layer of glitter. And then we're going to go ahead and pour it onto the bark slice. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the center and just do little spirals to work my way out. That way I can go ahead and just spread it all over that slice. Perfect. Now you don't have to worry about making like a thick coating. You just want to make sure the whole thing is covered. So I'm going to go ahead and just scrape all of this resin on here. That way we're using everything. I don't mind that some of the blue mix in here too from the glitter before. However, if you're making something very color specific and you don't want anything like that happening, just go ahead and use tape to get the glitter out beforehand, or wash this little bowl with soap and water. That'll do the trick too. Any questions so far, guys? Let me know.
No, they're just kind of watching.
Awesome.
They're liking it so far. Hold on 1 second. Yep, everyone's just kind of excited they hit the goal.
Good job, guys.
And then I did pin a comment. If we hit 60, we'll do 2 giveaways.
Oh.
So it's not that far off. You guys got up to like 54, so.
Awesome. So we're potentially doing 2 giveaways, which is Not exactly what I had in mind. I wanted to make
add
this
on
one
to it?
fatter. Yeah. Just one giveaway, Jesse.
Sorry.
But Jesse said two, so that's
Sorry,
what we're
my
doing.
Sorry, everybody.
I will say, if we get to 65, the first winner will still get that bonus edition, okay? So 60 for 2 prizes, 65 for 1 bonus edition. We'll say 2 bonus edition. How about that? Yeah? Okay. I think that's fair. All right, now I'm just going to go ahead and continue spreading this resin close to the edge as possible. You don't have to go all the way to the edge. It's up to you. It's really how you want this to look. I do want to add just a little bit more resin because I think I'm having trouble getting it to spread. So I'm going to put that in the center and then spread it out towards the edges. That's the best way to kind of do it evenly because remember, it is self-leveling. Here we go. Awesome. And then just let me know if you guys have questions. Again, these are all items from the UV Resin Starter Kit. So if you haven't played with UV Resin before, this is a great kit to get started with. I highly recommend it. I've seen lots of people using this to teach people, even like their kids, stuff like that. People are able to pick this stuff up real quick with easy products like these. Okay. I am pretty happy with the way that this is spread. It's basically edge to edge, very even, and I'm going to go ahead and use my lamp to cure this.
Nudis said, OMG, I have class in 15 minutes.
Hi, Nudis.
Well, that's perfect. We end in like 14 minutes.
Yes. So if you guys, hold on, Nudis, is it a class or is it a live that they can join? Let us know because I might try to send some people your way. Nudis is amazing, guys. If anyone here was lucky enough to catch her pop socket live that she did, where she made those super cool geode pop sockets, let me know. I saw all of the posts afterwards and I had major FOMO. Really upset that I wasn't there because I have pop sockets that I could have learned with. Let us know, guys. But Nudis is awesome. So
Kenneth asking, is the process the same for acrylic base?
for acrylic blanks, it's very similar. They're a little smaller. And the biggest difference with that is once you have this peeled off, I'll just show you really quick. So like for the acrylic blank, once you have this little paper part peeled off, I do recommend a light sanding. So I have some sandpaper that I brought here just in case we got to that. But you want to give it a light sanding first. That way the resin has something to adhere to just because the acrylic blank itself is so slick. So hopefully that helps. And Kenna, if you need a step-by-step, just go to our YouTube. We do have this in a playlist as well where I go through the whole acrylic blank and show you how to craft with it. So great question, and we definitely got you. So I am really happy with the way this is spread out, guys. Let's go ahead and cure it. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, you could use your flashlight that comes in the kit to do this. It's just going to take you more time and holding your hand over everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave all my tools, everything right here, and let's cure this. I'm going to give it 60 seconds again because this is completely covered by the lamp. So this should get it all in one fell swoop. Yeah. All right. Any other questions, guys? Let us know. We've got about 12 minutes longer to craft with you through this. So we're going to go ahead and build a fun little flower scene after this, and we'll get that covered. I don't think I'll have time to get to the blank, but I'll show you how to remove it if we have a moment. Yeah. All right. And then are you guys working on a video for them?
Yeah, so we did pick one.
Okay.
We're just kind of waiting right
Okay.
now. Nudis said AZA Design did a great job with the pop socket class too.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if that's someone that did it with her or.
That's really cool. So yeah, there's a lot of talented people in this chat. I think we're very lucky to have so many people that we call friends here, kind of chatting with us, crafting with us, and inspiring each other. It's really cool to see stuff like that. All right, I'm gonna move my lamp to the side, and let's give the little knock test. See how we did. Isn't that cool? I love how quickly that stuff dries. But yeah, so this is nice and cured. If it feels sticky, anything like that, that means it just needs more time under the light. But this one's pretty good to go. So we'll move on to the next step. Now what I want to do next is I'm going to use this again like glue. And I'm just going to go ahead and just put a little bit of resin where I might be laying things down. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit like that. And I'm going to go ahead and place some flowers. Let's see what I want to do here, guys. We've got a lot of cool ones to pick from here. I love this one, so I might try to, let me get my tweezers. There we go. And these tweezers come in the set as well. So if you're thinking, oh, I need to find some tweezers, nope, it comes in that kit as well. You have the full toolkit. You get the flowers, the acrylic blanks, the bezels, 3 glitters, resin. You'll get your flashlight. You're going to get gloves. I want to say silicone bowl and wand. And yeah, I think that's everything. But there's a lot of cool stuff in that kit for sure. All right, now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to just trim this a little bit with my tweezers. Perfect. And set that down where I want it. So I'm just going to leave that right in the middle there. That's going to be my centerpiece. Yep, perfect. And then kind of just lay things how you want them to be. I'm going to go ahead and put this little flower right here. Awesome.
Karen said she loves that you don't have to hold the lamp. She still has to hold hers.
Isn't that cool? I'm a big fan of this lamp here. Like this, honestly, makes it super handy and easy to use. And again, because it's portable, it doesn't have any plug right now. I charged it, so it doesn't need it. If you do use the lamp often and you see that it's not curing like it used to, that just means it needs to charge. Just like with the flashlight, if you see that the light is dying, it probably just needs fresh batteries. So keep stuff like that in mind too, guys. Let's see, what else do we want to add to this? Maybe one of these blue flowers right here. And since the tweezers aren't cooperating, we'll go ahead and use our trick from before. We'll use our little wand, get some resin, and go ahead and just use that as a tool. Perfect. Yep, just like that. If you want to add more to this, you can. It's really like, it's up to you how much you want to do. I think I want to add a little bit of foliage. I'm going to go ahead and just put some of this down here. Awesome. And then maybe I'll do one over here for that white flower as well. Okay. Cool. So you don't have to use all of the flowers like I am starting to do right now. You can use as many or as little as you like. It's really up to you. You can even move them around once you place them. Just know that as the resin starts to touch them, they do get a little bit more delicate. So you don't want to move them too many times if you can help it. But yeah, I really like how this is coming out. Let me see if I have anything else I want to add here. No, I think I'm pretty content with this. So once you have everything added that you want, the next thing you're going to want to do is give it a good cure. So let's go ahead and get our little lamp again. And like I said, you can use the flashlight that comes with the kit, or you can upgrade to the lamp. And it's very just easy. It's hands off, easy to use. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna let that cure. The last step of what we have to do, guys, is just to cover it in resin. So once that's done, we'll go ahead and do that. But I think my friends here have a very important announcement for you. All right. So while they were showing you that video, I took the liberty of starting to pour my resin onto this coaster. And wow, it looks awesome. I will just tell you that once you pour that final layer of resin, it really magnifies everything. So it's going to take everything just to the next level, which is super awesome. I'm going to go ahead and try to get it from spilling over the edge because I think I went a little over resiny here. And I'm just going to spread this out a little bit more. Yeah, this looks great. You do want to keep in mind, again, like we were saying before, that those flowers are, or I'm sorry, the flowers are real, so they might still have some moisture stuck inside of them. So you don't want to cure them right away because that's how bubbles will rise and pop on you. So we want to go ahead and just leave that as is, give it a second, and then cure it. All right, so because I did that earlier, I'm going to go ahead and just let that cure. I am giving it 180 seconds this time because that's the most resin I've used so far. While that's curing, I'm going to go ahead and take off my gloves and show you really quick how to do that acrylic blank because we had some people asking about it. So this acrylic blank right here is one of many that we have. The kit itself is going to come with 4 different shapes, but we have a bunch of these available on our website. Now, they are not brown like this. They are covered with paper to protect the clear acrylic. Yes?
And Cream City Sauce said, glad we snagged this F570 from you when we did. Heard they went up $1,000 on Epson's website today.
Yes. So we did mention at the beginning of the live today that if you've been waiting to pull the trigger on the Epsons, you shouldn't because there is no better time than now. The bigger machines that are on the Epson site, those, because they don't ship from us, unfortunately, we have to ship them directly from Epson. That means that ours are subject to that price increase as well. However, we have a few 170s still in the store here that we are able to get you at the original price. So if you're waiting, don't. This is your last chance before those prices go up.
It's gonna go up $100 in like a week.
Thank you for kind of explaining that too. We didn't really want to have to kind of give you all the nitty gritty, but because our friend in here who has that 570, who's been doing amazing work, by the way, we really love all the tags that you've been tagging us in. The stuff looks super vibrant that you're working on, so really appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, the present is now, and we highly recommend you not waiting anymore on those Epson 170s. Grab them now. But yeah. Okay, so this is the acrylic blank. The way that you kind of get this paper off, the easiest way for me, honestly, is to use this little scraping tool that comes in the kit. So I usually use this just to get a little bit of the side paper to come off like that. Once you have the paper off, you can go ahead and just peel it. So I got one of those corners to lift. I'm going to go ahead and just peel that right off now. And now this side is completely clear, so you can see the shine on it now. The other side is still covered with paper. I usually just leave one side on because you're only going to work on one at a time anyway. Once you have that one side off, you'll go ahead and use your sanding paper, give it a quick little sand. And the reason for that, again, is you just need something for that resin to adhere to. So we're going to go ahead and just sand that up a little bit. Once you see that it looks kind of roughed up from edge to edge, then you're good to go. So I'm going to go and just wipe that off. I'm using my pants. You can use something else. But yeah, you just want to get off all that little dust. That way when you apply your resin, it won't get locked inside with the resin. But yeah, so that's how you do the acrylic blank. From here, it's just like everything else we've done. You want to pour your resin in your layers, build your scene, and then always coat over it. What's really neat too is the easiest way to customize with these. You can always add decals like UV DTF, anything like that, stickers too, and resin over them. And yeah, they're really awesome. Yes, Jesse.
Nancy Creason said, I just bought mine today.
Awesome.
The printer.
Awesome. The 170?
Yeah, I believe so.
Cool. Guys, how beautiful is that? Look at that shine. So this is hot out the lamp.
And then Reina said she loves everything you do with the resin, when you play with the colors and the flowers, and it always comes out beautiful.
Thank you so much. Look at that. It's a wonderful coaster.